Hello, denizens. Oh, there will be spoilers. I had the absolute pleasure of watching Sony's Kraven the Hunter movie. But let me be clear, it wasn't the movie that made it an absolute pleasure, but the fact that I was watching it with some of my favorite YouTubers, Chris Gore, Alan Ng, Script Doctor, Dante James, Derek the DA, Tom Conkle, and others. 10 rugged film aficionado, straight guys, well, straight to the best of my knowledge. Well, we went to see what was ostensibly a terrible movie. Kraven lived up to its reputation, and we had a blast. We were actually quite restrained at the start of it as we endured one laughably bad line of dialogue after another and didn't want to spoil the enjoyment of the other three people in the theater. But then the dam burst. I can't recall when it happened, perhaps when someone asked Kraven what he did, and he responded with, "I am Kraven the Hunter. I hunt." And we all howled with laughter. After that, every verbal boner was cause for raucous celebration. Kraven is exactly the perfect movie to take the boys, have a beer beforehand, and have a laugh because it's not complicated bad. It's first draft bad by a screenwriter who was probably removing avocado pits at a burrito joint before, getting the gig. Under those conditions, I would highly recommend Kraven the Hunter, but under any other circumstance, I wouldn't bother. And the sad thing is that with just a few changes, it could have been Highlander bad, which was a much better bad than Kraven. Who could forget Sean Connery's Scottish Spaniard? There were some good performances, especially by Russell Crowe as Kraven's dad. Aaron Taylor Johnson as Kraven was fine. It would have been nice to see or hear better dialogue stuffed into Johnson's cake hole to see what he was actually capable of. Actors can only do so much. Calypso was played by Ariana DeBose. I think we laughed at her dialogue the most. "How did you learn to use a bow?" "In camp." Yeah, it would have been funnier if she had said, "At Camp Shalom in upstate New York." Speaking of Calypso, Kraven's origin story was just plain dumb. Calypso's necessity in the movie was tenuous at best. Kraven had a list of people that he was hunting that we never saw him hunt anyone on his list, even though we were under the understanding that he was Kraven the Hunter who hunted. She told him killing people on the list was not something, as a lawyer, she would condone. But because we never saw him hunt anyone on the list, it didn't really matter, except up until he had to rescue his lounge singer brother, played by Fred Heckinger, who seemed to be channeling Terry Jones's pasty-faced Prince Herbert from The Holy Grail. It would have made more sense if Kraven had tracked down and killed a few more from that list. What didn't make any sense was Kraven asking Calypso the Hunter to use her contacts to find someone. What happened to Kraven the Hunter? I thought he hunted? The movie does open with him killing someone who is important to Alexi the Rhino, played by Alessandro Nivola. I actually found the set pieces to be fun. They fit the tone of the movie. What I didn't find fun was they turned Rhino into a mystery box to be left to the end for the big reveal. As we saw glimpses of what Alexi had in store, but that's not how these kinds of stories should work. We know he's the Rhino. We want to see him early and often. In classic setups, the hero is outmuscled or outmaneuvered a couple of times, and then in the final fight sequence, he has to find a different way of defeating the antagonist. Inexplicably, the movie introduces the Foreigner, played just fine by Christopher Abbott, who nearly defeats Kraven only to have Calypso come out of nowhere and use her archery skills derived from day camp to shoot him in the head. Oh, did I tell you that Alexei and the foreigner had never met each other earlier in the film and just decide to team up at the last minute when they're introduced? On a side note, why didn't Kraven use his sense of smell to defeat the foreigner? Because we know that Kraven the hunter hunts, right? All these things could have been easily fixed in the script, including the interminable flashback. The final battle where Kraven marshals his friends, a herd of 1,000 badly CGI'd wildebeests, to defeat Rhino was joyously stupid. I won't tell you how the movie ends because I don't want to give away the last gag, except it involves a bear. There's also a big reveal that includes fur and a potential cliffhanger to a sequel that does not have a hope in hell of happening. A couple more things I discovered. One was the secret button hidden under an animal head Calypso found at Kraven's secret African lair. What did it do? It lowered several wooden planks from the ceiling, revealing mostly knives. It included Kraven's big knife, a paring knife for filleting, a lemon zester, and a melon baller. The second thing was that I found out that Kraven the hunter hunted. I'd like to add that AMC offers shitty seniors discounts. Seriously, $1.50 off of a $12 ticket. I would like to thank Chris for letting me join his band of merry men in Los Angeles. Till next time, denizens, be seeing you.